Hi, my name is Carol Williams, and I have Rick Simmons with me tonight. This is the Thursday night Veterans Issues on CAN TV. My name is Carol Williams, and I'm representing the United States Veterans Art Program. We're in Chicago here, and one of the things that we do overall is to try and increase the representation of veterans in the arts community. One of the ways that we do that is every month we come here on CAN TV and talk to a local veteran who is also an artist and talk about their art, their military experience, if they want to talk about that, and also why they do what they do. We're going to get to that in a little bit. One of the other things that we do is to donate what we call artistic tools to people who are veterans and they've been artists in the past. They don't have the resources to continue that. And what we do is generally go to recreation therapy departments at VA facilities and try to support the programs that they're doing there. We do that with donations and sponsors. If you go to our website at www.usvap, you can see all the things that we've been doing. We've been in a lot of different places in the country. One of the places that we're going to next month is North Chicago, also known as Lovell, which is where Mr. Simmons is based out of. And we're going to tell a little bit about that as we get into our interview tonight. I'm going to show you our internet program address. If you'd like to get in touch with us, we're here every second Thursday of the month here at CAN TV. The United States Veterans Art Program, our email, you can get in touch with us, is admin@usvap.org. You see our phone number there. This is a hotline call-in live show. You'll see the number there on your screen, 312-738-1060. We'd love for you to call in as we talk to Mr. Simmons, who is a veteran of the U.S. Navy. If you have any questions, any comments, anything to say at all, we are always welcoming your call. We have a wonderful person here who answers the phones, who is with us, who supports our program, and she will answer the phone if you want to call in. But right now we're going to talk to Rick Simmons, who changed his shirt before we came on the show. And you'll know why he changed his shirt as we talk. How are you tonight, Rick?
I'm doing great.
Great. Rick drove all the way from Wisconsin. And that's quite a feat.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be walking there for a while.
Well, which part did you think that? The part where you first started off, or when you got closer?
No, just got close. Everything really slowed down to crawl. So.
Well, we really appreciate you coming all the way from Wisconsin to be here in Chicago. This is a real opportunity for us to meet you. Chicago is a wonderful opportunity for this cable show, and they're very wonderful to have us on here once a month. We were talking earlier, and of course, we know that you were in the Navy for 21 years.
Correct.
I think you were born in California. It's always interesting to find out all the different places in one country that somebody ends up in. We're in Chicago today, but where you came from is got a lot of different routes. You came from California, and then you enlisted in the Navy out of Denver, Colorado.
Correct.
You spent on and off a total of 3 years in and out of Vietnam.
Correct. From 1968 to 1971, I flew with a patrol squadron 50, which is a Navy patrol squadron. We'll have some pictures here in a few minutes of the flights that we made. And after that, then I decided to stay in the service.
Well, what other than the draft made you think that you would go into the service? Were you right out of college, or had you, or right out of high school?
I was out of high school, and then I attended 2 years of junior college. And after the 2 years, I wanted to get into the Army Warrant Officer program. and come to find out that my eyesight wasn't 20/20. And so they decided that I couldn't go into that program, and the Army didn't really offer me what I wanted. So I went just down the hall to all the different recruiters, and the Navy gave me my opportunity.
Looking for a good deal.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Simmons, before we were talking earlier on the show, said that he was in the Navy for 21 years and was never aboard a ship.
Correct.
That's got to be some kind of a record. This is a photo of you and looks like your dress blues.
Correct. I was when I was in VP 46, and I was the command senior chief of the squadron, which is the highest ranking enlisted. And the job basically is to work with the commanding officer and be the intermediary between he and the enlisted.
Let's see if we can't make you a little bit more important here but see, if we show your face, then we miss the stripes, and that's kind of the beautiful thing. We're going to show some pictures of when you were, this is one of the
patrol squadrons with the Navy fly a P-3, and it's a sub-hunting aircraft, and they use it for several different things. Number one is to find submarines and track them, and the second thing is to monitor shipping traffic. And in Vietnam, we were off the coast, and we would monitor the shipping traffic, usually Chinese junks that would have an enormous amount of medical supplies and artillery and weaponry for the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese. And they would be in international waters, and then they would try to make a break for the coast and go up the Delta. And what we would do then is, of course, turn it over to the surface craft, U.S. Coast Guard or U.S. Navy, to sink the ships.
Wow. Here's one where it looks like you're very close.
And I wanted to show a picture that we spent about 12 hours flying at 300 feet above the water.
12 hours flying at 300 feet above the water.
And quite exciting.
Is this the formation that you were in? You were 300 feet above the water, and you were basically accompanying this ship?
We would be sighting him first, and then we'd come in and take pictures, and they would take that over to Navy intelligence to see what kind of traffic was going up and down the coast. And then we also, like say, in the monitoring of the submarines, if we saw a submarine on the surface, we would take as many pictures as we could and gather as much intelligence as we could.
And here, this looks like something where you were sitting in the back.
This is right behind the pilot, co-pilot, and flight engineer, and we would be coming in on a ship to go ahead and take a picture of it, and it kind of gives a perspective of how close we actually get to these ships.
You must really love to fly.
I loved it for a period of time, and then later on, as I went up in rank, of course, less and less time flying and more time supervising and managing.
So you did your 21 years, and then you left the service, worked another civilian job that will remain nameless for another 20 or 25 years, unless you want to talk about your other job. But the most important part is that you had the space of time between obviously being in Vietnam and then being in the military during what they call peacetime, and then you kind of went full circle and started attending a PTSD group therapy program up at North Chicago VA called Lovell VA now.
Correct.
And you said that was about 6 or 7 years ago. And in the middle of all this, you also were searching your genealogy, which is very much an American story in that the records of your very important part of your family were not documentable. And that's the part of your family that you really feel connected to and that you have a lot of curiosity about. which is the Native American side of your family. And you started doing your genealogy search, and from what I can tell, you kind of decided that's a lot of who you are.
Correct. It's I originally started off with just a piece of paper saying that I was my grandmother was part Native American, and no indication to what tribe or anything else about it. And so what I did then is I started doing the genealogy. That took me to Butler, Missouri, and where I found the grave sites of my grandmother and my great-grandmother, and also it answered a lot of questions, but also presented a bunch of new riddles. And the riddles were, what tribe, where did the Native American history come from? What was, was it from my grandmother? Was it from my grandfather? Quite a lot of questions, and still many of them have to be answered yet. And with the United States government, the way that they document, and you can say you're an Indian or a Native American, is to actually physically have this documentation back to through your roots. If not, then much of my artwork I list as, and things that I do is listed as reproduction, and it can only be listed as reproduction until,
goodness gracious.
Until actually I get certification that I can say it's a Native American.
Oh my, okay. Well, we are going to talk about your artwork. You are a multi-talented person who you said that making all the things that you make, quote unquote, keeps you out of trouble. We'd like to know what kind of trouble you would be in.
Not much.
But we won't. We won't try and make any more out of that. But you brought in many of the things that you've made. We'd like to show the audience the things that you've made.
Sure.
Again, this is Rick Simmons, who is a veteran of the Navy and also a Vietnam veteran. This is CAN TV with Veterans Issues. If you'd like to call and ask a question, it's 312-738-1060. And as we get on to looking at some of the things that you've made, if anybody wants to give us a call, give us a call and let us know what's on your mind. If you could see what I'm seeing with the jewelry here on Mr. Simmons' fingers, oh my gosh, you'd probably come to the studio and want to take a closer look at that. That's beautiful.
I didn't make the jewelry, so I can't take credit for
I know. Shucks. Yeah. But anyway, so let's talk about the things that we have on the desk here. If you want to put them here,
well,
I think they'll show up.
The reason I started this is in the studying of Native American culture and so forth. I started learning about the religion and started learning about much of the things that the Native Americans did. And then I started doing my own thing, and this would be an example of one, which is a drum. And I started off with the drum itself, and then I decided I wanted to start painting the faces of it, and that became quite a good deal for me because not only did I get to research the drum and how to make it, and I also did start learning a lot about art. And I did many years ago do a lot with art, and it's kind of funny that all of a sudden I found myself back doing things that I really enjoyed. And this is a picture just basically of a native warrior. It's done with airbrushes and airbrush paint, and that kind of gives this idea.
It's made from what kind of skin?
I have buffalo hide is the one that I like to use the most. This one's elk. And
wow, where do you get this?
I buy it.
I'm going to see if we can put this on the overhead and see if your picture that you're painting. Yes, there we go. That's gorgeous. And that's an image that you did you copy that from a pre-existing image?
Correct. It's copied from a pre-existing image.
And it's got an overlay of an eagle flying through. That is really beautiful. And the moon, if you could see it on the overhead, which doesn't show up quite as much as what I'm looking at, the moon is almost luminescent with the gold color on there. I'm going to turn it over so that you can see the back part, all the stringing. I see you have a title there.
The title is rather funny.
And you hold it in your hand.
Correct.
Here, so that you can do whatever position you're going to be in.
That's one of them. And then this is one that I did that is a picture of an eagle. And this one was done freehand with I didn't use any other pictures or anything, just drew it and then painted it.
Wow.
And then the back is a medicine wheel that, excuse me, Native Americans have medicine wheels that are 4 colors, and if you're Cherokee, there's 7. They also consider the sky and the earth below, and then also the earth that you stand on as 3 more different positions. And the Sioux will have it 1 color, and the Cherokee will be a different color. And this would be more of a Sioux type.
Wow. Now we're going to play these, right?
We're going to play that in a few minutes, yes.
This is really, really beautiful image. Really, really great.
Then I started doing pipes, and this is one example, and it'll probably be easier to see in the overhead. This is a Bair.
Wow.
And the pipe itself is made out of stone that comes from Minnesota, from Pipestone, Minnesota.
If you could feel what I'm feeling right now,
it's slightly
in
heavy.
The studio, not only is it slightly heavy, but it's extremely cold.
Yes.
I mean, it's really cold.
Came out of sight.
But even though it's been indoors for at least half an hour, and you do the carving.
Correct.
And here is the hole for the smoke to come out. And then we have, I'm going to try and hold that up. We've got it this long. And of course, this is your blowhole, I'm assuming. But it's the carving on here that if you could just see the incredible carving. And you told me that all of it has to be from a stone that is from Soapstone, Minnesota.
Pipestone, Minnesota.
Pipestone,
correct.
Minnesota.
And then this pipe has a story on itself.
Wow.
I had a friend that was a female veteran, and she asked me if I could do a pipe with an elephant. And I told her that I would get started on it, and she wanted it kneeling, and she wanted it basically with the trunk up.
Really?
And told me everything that she wanted about it. The sad part about it was that about 2 weeks before I was getting close to completing it, she passed away.
Wow.
And so what we've decided to do is sell that pipe, and we're going to donate the money over to the Wounded Warriors. And
Really?
I'll leave an email if anybody wants to contact me about that.
Wow. Did she ever tell you why she wanted an elephant on here?
She had a tattoo of an elephant, and she always felt that the elephants were good luck for her, and etc. So,
Wow, that's...
and of course that's going to be pretty unique because you won't find a Native American that's ever done one with an elephant on it. So,
if you could feel how heavy these are, I wish you could experience just what it feels like to have something so heavy and so solid. When you're using this for an actual pipe, and you're burning something in here, does it?
correct. It's called Kinnick. It is probably a combination of some tobacco, but it also has sage and various other plants in it. They go ahead and they light the pipe, and then they go ahead and they honor all 4 different directions, which is the reason for the medicine wheel. And in the process, in their prayers, they thank the great Creator for everything that the Creator's given them. And if a person does not want to smoke it, then all they need to do is tap their shoulder and pass it on, so that they allow somebody that, say, that doesn't smoke or whatever is not going to be offended. As they go around, of course, they look to the east, and the east on the wheel is yellow, and they look to thank the sun, and then they move on to the in a clockwise relationship and thank the great Creator for various things. And that's one. And then I brought one other one. This is would be kind of unique. This is a different type of stone, and again, it's carved, and it's an eagle's head. And that one, I just got real interested in trying to work with this black stone. Didn't know if I could do it or not, and everything that's done is done with hand tools. There's no machining or anything. You have to use files and various sandpaper and various other things by hand to finish the product after it's done.
If you could see the fine lines on here, which I don't think show too well on the TV, but it's actually etching, and that shows an eagle's head. And of course the bowl of the pipe is here. Really beautiful. I wish we could have a little bit. There we go. Of course he's upside down now. It shows a little bit more. And this is all hand carved by yourself.
Correct.
We'd love to, of course, see what such a stone looks like before you get started on it, because it looks so smooth that it's hard to imagine having
I think
this
I have one.
shaped by.
It's out there.
Well, it's probably not much to look at, but you know, it's hard to imagine this being, you know, made by someone with a sharp tool that's creating such smoothness.
And then I need to give everybody a music lesson. Would you help us?
Well, I'm not sure if she can come out from behind her.
Oh, she can stop anytime she wants. That's all right.
Well,
I'll let you play this one.
Alrighty. Oh, okay.
And just to give you an idea of some of the stuff, I do taps. I hope that it'll be okay for everybody.
Well, before you play that, is that something that you also made?
No, I don't make the flutes. I'm getting ready to, but I wasn't quite sure how they were made. So usually I'll buy something, and in this particular case, I went to, I don't have it here with me, but I went up to the powwow up in Milwaukee that's called Indian Summer, and I bought a pipe up there, or a flute up there, along with some instruction on how to play it. And then I went ahead and started trying to play, and please excuse me, I'm not an artist or a fantastic musician here.
But see, that's why we're here, is because the point of our organization and the point of why we're here is not to do anything other than to realize that we get to do this because we choose.
Okay.
And it's
what I'd like you to do is just a little bit louder. You can get mean with it, it doesn't matter. That's how it's done.
Great. Thank you, Rick. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And I love your drums. We are going to have to, we didn't even get a chance to talk about your furniture making before we sign off. We're here next month, and we've been happy to be here with Rick Simmons from Wisconsin. Now he has to drive back to Wisconsin. This is the United States Veterans Art Program. I'm going to show you our overhead, and we'll see you next week. And thank you. And Rick's wife, Pat, also is here today. And we're very glad to have you both. And thank you so very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.